Hello, and welcome to my walkthrough of my first project with the Flatiron School, which is a CLI project. And CLI basically stands for Command Line Interface. And it allows for user to use very basic command line, nothing flashy, to present information and run code based on a program that, a program has put together to efficiently work on certain tasks. The thought of my program was conceived from the need for what we all go through at some point in time, which is looking for a job, which is a very tedious process, repetitive. You've got to research an organization first, and then check whether that organization is got any open positions for you within a specific line of specialization, be it being a programmer or being in networking, or whatever the case may be. And in this case, what I was looking at is 50 top startup organizations. We know that a lot of startups right now are really heavy on software engineering as they start off their programs or their project or their effort, right, to get off the ground. And a lot of these guys want to have the best programmers in house to allow them to carry on with the mission of the organization. So what I did was make it easy where a user is not being bombarded with a lot of information. Though 50 is a lot of information, you're able to look at a really good start base, right? And then drill down from this 50 really easily and get more information on specific organizations that you really want to learn about. And if those organizations fit your criteria of a company that you like to work with, you can then check and see whether there's a match in terms of is this organization or does this organization have any open positions. Um, so I started off with a blank gem, downloaded a gem, and worked off of two primary files. This is my CLI, which is essentially my controller. And then the next file was the scraping mechanism or the scraping engine. And this uses Nokogiri to go into these websites, pull the information, and provide the information in a way that a user is easily able to see what they need to see, make a decision, and check whether there's a match. So back to the CLI. The first method of the CLI essentially runs down a list of what the program is going to be doing concisely, right? So we start off with presenting the user with the current top 50 organizations, or current top 50 startups, sorry, and we reach out into that method from our scraping functionality and beginning the scraping function of pulling out all that information for the first top 50 startups. Now, this information was been pulled from a website I found online that had a really concise way that it presented the information, although the website itself was not, it wasn't put together by a detailed, designer. The design of the website was, it was all over the place. They didn't use the right uh, the right standards or the right established standards and publishing the page. So there was a lot of hunting and pecking to make sure I'm able to scrape this information from the website and present it to the user in a way that the user was able to then quickly go through specific organizations, get the information they needed, and make a decision on whether that organization is hiring or not. The website that I used to check and see whether they got any developer positions was Indeed. And as you know, you go into Indeed based on however you set up your search functionality. You're still going to get the boatload of jobs. If you could take a look at this page right now, it tells you one of 14,000 jobs that are presented to you. So this is where the true power of the program comes into play, where instead of you spending a whole day drilling through this 14,000 jobs, you can quickly take a look at organizations that are viable or organizations that you would like to work for, and quickly check and see whether those organizations have got any job postings or job openings available. So how does it work out? It scrapes the first website, as we just took a look at this side here, and this is Calculus website that's got the complete 2019 top 50 startups, and it presents this information to the user. The user is then able to take a quick glance at each and every one of these organizations. So the user's presented with the top 50 list, and this is very concise, very clean, unlike what you see on the website. You've just got the list of all this organizations, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. The user is then able to drill down on each and every one of these organizations to get more information on it, and I'll walk you through that. The user is then able to try and check and see whether they've got a match. And the user can then reference back into the menu, so that way they're not getting lost within reviewing details of each organization. And then last but not least, the user is able to say thank you and then a step away from the program, and the program is able to wave goodbye to the user in a way that thanks the user for stopping by, using the program, and hopefully the user will be back because they are able to see how efficient this program is. So like I said, this is a command line program, so you run it from the command line. So pulling up the command line here, and I'm going to go ahead and CLS here so I can clear up my screen, and we can start off from a blank screen, and I could walk you through exactly what my CLI does, CLS. So pull up your command line and you run the program. Running the program presents you with the first line, and that's essentially telling you we're looking at the first 50 lines, first 50 current top 50 startups. And you have a concise listing of every one of these startups, and you can quickly glance at this. And like the website where you've got to go through all the detail at a go. With this, you can glance at the top 50. It's an easy one-time scroll. You're not scrolling through a bunch of information, and you're able to decide on what you want to find a little bit more, gather a little more information on. The next line of code that the program presents is off the top, from the top level. You can then take a look and see, and the program tells you that there are no these companies are currently hiring, and he tells you right now there's no matches found. What the program is doing is, from a top level, right, it is reviewing all these companies from from 1 to 50, and also searching Indeed to see if there's a match for a name between the top 50 startups, the names that we got here, and the job postings that we have on Indeed. The user is then able to drill down onto any one of these organizations. So, say for example, user came in here and he saw, okay, let's find out what's going on with the first organization that we have at top. This is Riskified Limited. The user can then enter that particular number. To pull up the first organization, type in 1, and it provides the information on Riskified and tells the user that the product that the organization or the mission of the organization, whatever product that they produce, is anti-fraud tools for online retailers. Right? The year it was founded is 2012. The founders, number of employees of the current company currently has, and what the funding is. As anyone will know, is more funding a startup has, obviously, the more potential for growth and the more interest that people have in that particular technology, mission, or purpose of the organization, which sometimes gives you a really good inkling into whether the company is going to be successful or not. Because if somebody really buys into an idea of a startup and invests their money in it, then obviously that gives you a good idea of whether that is a viable project, right? It also gives you a listing of the investors. So, top level investors, or, the top name investors would typically go for things that they know and they've researched and they understand, have got the ability to be industry changes, right? And for that reason, they put the money where they put the money in it to essentially invest in it. So based on that information, the user can then, after analyzing or assessing the details of a particular startup, the user can then type in match to see if there's a match for there's a match in this company hiring. And like I said, the scraping function has already gone through both the scraping engines, the top 50 startups, and also Indeed. And in this particular instance, it tells the user no match is found. And the user then presented with the instruction to enter a number of a startup that you like more information on, and the user can then go and say, okay, fine, let's take a look and see. Actually, let me pull back the list because I now want to see what the list looks like again. And they're presented again with the list of all organizations at this company. All the 50 top 50 organizations that are that the website is bringing back to us, right? And from here, the user can then decide, okay, fine, I want to go ahead and see what number 28 is. Move It App Global Limited, and you type in 28, and it brings up information on its organization. You can see off the bat, we are looking at a little more funding than the first organization that we looked at, and this is $133 million. And you could also take a look at the investors and also the product that this company is all about: free mobile navigation app offering real-time public transportation information. Pretty cool, all right? We already know that there are no matches across the board for any one of the 50 top startups, but the user can then type match again to see if there's any match in hiring, and we're presented again with the information that no matches were found. You can then go back to the menu to see what the menu of this program is, and it easily tells you make a selection from the listed startups, enter match to see whether the startup is hiring. Startups are hiring, or select exit. And at that point in time, you are presented with either going back to your list to get more information, all right? And you can check see if there's a match again. You can go back to menu to see what the menu is telling you, or if you've reviewed everything that you'd like to see on this website, you could quickly and easily type in exit, and it tells you thank you for using Startup Match app, and the program comes to a close. So that's it in a nutshell. Quick and easy application that allows for you to review multiple websites. And in this particular instance, we're looking at a list of top 50 startups, and we're matching those to current open positions in Indeed. And that is my first program with the Flatiron School. Thanks a lot for watching.